Hello, and for this video we'll be venturing deep into the jungles of South America as we battle ruthless drug cartels and savage natives as we take a look at director Ruggero Deodato's brutal 1985 action-adventure movie, Cut and Run. A couple of TV news reporters, Fran and Mark, are hoping to get an exclusive story about a DEA drug bust in downtown Miami. But they arrive to find the occupants have been mysteriously slaughtered by a rival gang who managed to sneak in and escape again without anybody seeing them.
Oh my God.
Inside, they discover a picture which appears to show their boss's son Tommy posing next to some South American drug cartels. Tommy went missing in South America some months previously, and Fran recognises another person from the photo as former Vietnam veteran turned drug runner Colonel Horn, who supposedly died several years ago. Realising there might be a story in tracking down the mysterious colonel, and with their boss wanting them to bring his son back, the two find the plane from the photo and convince the pilot to fly them out to the jungle camp where the picture was taken. But the camp is actually a cocaine production plant which is run by a rather unsavoury chap named Vlado, and they arrive only to stumble right into the middle of a brutal drug war as a rival gang is busy attacking the camp. Seems the Colonel has his own drug operation going and has been busy taking out his rivals with the help of a couple of henchmen and a number of the local Indios. Anyway, Fran and Mark manage to survive the night by hiding in the jungle, and they meet up with the survivor of the camp massacre named Anna. Together they head off trying to find Tommy, who disappeared during the attack, and to see if they can make it to safety. But this proves to be no easy task, as whilst they do find Tommy, they also find themselves stalked at every turn by Horn's men, and having to fend off attacks by unfriendly Indios. Needless to say, when they do eventually meet up with the Colonel, who is running an Apocalypse Now-style encampment, he's less than interested in giving interviews, and so the fate of the group depends on whether or not the authorities can find them in time. Released back in 1985, Cut and Run is not so much a horror film but a hard-edged action-adventure movie, and is arguably the director's most commercial film to date, and is most definitely a firm favourite of mine. It's got some great action scenes, which starts off with Horn's men attacking a cocaine factory on the Amazon, which really sets the tone for the rest of the film, and there's some fantastic gore scenes, which includes a very painful death by a jungle trap. Being filmed in Venezuela, it features some good photography of its remote jungle location, and there's a kick-ass synth rock soundtrack from former Goblins member Claudio Simonetti, who of course scored most of Dario Argento's films. The film also boasts a very good cast, which includes a lot of familiar faces from various cult films, which includes Richard Lynch, who's played a baddie in numerous TV shows and movies, and appeared in the Rob Zombie Halloween remake. There's also Michael Berryman, who everybody knows from The Hills Have Eyes and countless other horror films. Leonard Mann, who was in the old video nasty Terror Eyes and the Italian Star Wars knockoff Humanoid. Lisa Blount from Officer and a Gentleman and John Carpenter's Prince of Darkness. And US TV actors Willie Ames, who's been in a stack of American shows. And a very young Eric Glassall, who went on to star in ER. Godfather actor Richard Bright also has a co-starring role alongside horror B-movie actress Karen Black, who's another person that's been in a lot of films, including Rob Zombie's House of a Thousand Corpses. And fans of Italian cinema will also recognise John Steiner and Gabriele Tinti in this, who have both starred in a slew of cult Italian films. Now, originally the film was going to be quite different. It was originally going to be directed by Wes Craven, as he was friends with the producer, but the project fell through. It was later offered to Ruggero Deodato, as the producer had been impressed with Cannibal Holocaust, and so the script was rewritten to make it a bit more like his cannibal films. In fact, the film does share a similar theme to Cannibal Holocaust, insofar as they both feature a film crew going into the Amazon and encountering unfriendly natives. But from there on in the similarities end, and despite some people claiming that this is a follow-up of sorts to Cannibal Holocaust, it's not. The natives in this are not cannibals, and no one gets eaten. I should also point out that there's two versions of the film that were made. The first, known as the soft version, was a sanitised action-adventure picture and was the one released to video in the US and UK during the 1980s, although the UK video still had about another minute cut from it. The second, known as the hard version, was a much stronger cut of the film and used alternate gorier takes for several key scenes. This was a version originally released in mainland Europe and in Japan, although some countries still censored some of the gore scenes and nudity from it, or replaced them with alternate scenes from the soft version, so that copies of the full uncut hard version were tricky to come by for a while. The DVD issued by Anchor Bay in 2002 was of the full uncut version. However, the film's goriest scene, showing Vlado in the jungle trap, looked like it had been spliced back in from a video master tape, as this scene is noticeably grainier. Also, several scenes on the disc were in Italian with English subtitles, as they claimed the uncut version was never dubbed into English. However, this was not true. There was actually an English audio track on the full uncut Hong Kong VHS release from Continental, but it seems this print might not longer be available. Pretty much all other DVD releases of the film have used the same print as the Anchor Bay disc, which intercuts between English and Italian. But there's this one release from CMV in Germany which is uncut and does have a full English language track on it. But what it seems they've done is they couldn't get hold of the proper English audio track from the hard version, so they just redubbed the affected scenes using the English audio from the soft version, which does actually match up quite nicely, provided you don't look too closely.
Want to know the truth? I didn't hear a word.
It's not been released on Blu-ray to date, and it hasn't been released on disc at all in the UK yet either. The Anchor Bay DVD is long out of print, but you can still pick up copies on eBay if you don't mind paying collector's prices. European discs are easier to come by and are uncut, but again, the only version with any sort of full English soundtrack on at the moment is the German CMV disc. Whichever release you can get hold of, if you like gory action adventure movies, then this one is a must, and the cast is a true B-movie fan's delight, which also benefits from Claudio Simonetti's effective soundtrack, so I would definitely recommend you pick this one up.
Your journey ends here. Forever.